Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And this is very serious news. For Women Scotland, a group that was set up for women in Scotland and who's subsequently fought for freedoms, for rights, for identification, and to not be subsumed into accepting men as women, has had this morning a bomb threat. They've been threatened. They've been pushed. They have had all sorts of nastiness done over the years. And now they are actually having their lives threatened by usually inadequate men or by mad fellow travelling women. It's usually inadequate men, though, isn't it? They're the ones that get really angry. And so they are not backing down, of course. They've got more balls than the men who still actually got their balls, most of them. But these women actually have got more of them because they're not backing down. They're standing up and they are saying, bring it on, boys, because we're not scared of you. We're going to do this story. I tip hat because they are marvellous. They fight for the rights of people like mothers, daughters, sisters, wives, girlfriends, nieces, girl friends, female friends. People who would otherwise be threatened or harmed by these weird, inadequate men who like to play at woman face. Well done to them. Let's have a look, see what's going on. So, bomb threats and Mumsnet. What drives For Women Scotland, as they say? They will never back down. They're a campaign group. I think they do marvellous work. I've supported all that they've done. I'm actually in contact via sort of Twitter, and I've had emails from several of the people actually in that picture. Trina on the end there, I've spoken to several times. So it's one of those things that they do such marvellous work by standing up against this woke mob of dangerous trans pedos, all these ones who want to have desperate access to get in where young girls are changing, to expose themselves to children all the time. That's what the main push of these people. So the group was formed in 2018 and has since sparked the ire of Mary Black and Nicola Sturgeon for standing up against the prevailing view within Scotland's political establishment. Well, you know, the view being that if a man puts on a skirt and calls himself Susan, he can gain access to all things female. And this is not right. And they always call themselves transitioning, don't you? Oh, I'm transitioning. No, you're not transitioning. Till you get your balls cut off, you're still a man. And when you have your balls cut off, you're a man with no balls. There's no such thing as transitioning. You're not you're not a caterpillar. You don't disappear in and then come out a beautiful butterfly. You come out an ugly man in a dress with terrible legs, big Adam's apple, and hands like a builder. Anyway, the founders of feminist group For Women Scotland have revealed they have received bomb threats as well as abuse from trans activists. But they have vowed to keep fighting for women's rights in Scotland despite opposition, including within Scotland's political establishment. The SNP loathe them. But you know what? You know who likes them? Just about every normal woman in Scotland. And indeed, every normal man in Scotland. Because the men, generally like women. I mean, not necessarily all sexually. May have gay men. Don't like them sexually. But they still like women. They like their mothers. They like their sisters. They like their daughters. They like their, friends. They don't want their friends threatened by some hairy-ass bloke coming in and exposing himself in a changing room in front of 9-year-olds. Anyway, the group was formed in 2018 to fight against the prevailing gender ideology taking hold at Holyrood. And in an interview with Holyrood magazine, 3 of the founding members revealed they became interested in the topic when using the website Mumsnet. Which I'm going to complain, why Mumsnet? That there are plenty of fathers that use Mumsnet. Why not ParentsNet? Since, we're going down that woke route, I don't care. I really don't care. I'm just making a point. Anyway, Trina Budge explained she had been dipping in and out of Mumsnet for a variety of things. Parenting, fitness, education, cookery. When she became aware of the silliness about sex and gender cropping up. And while she dismissed this at the time, the Scottish Government's consultation on gender reforms highlighted what had seemed a far-fetched online was actually taking place at Holyrood. And just as an aside on that, when they were doing all the committee meetings and interviewing people and having all the people with a vested interest come to these committees and give their evidence. They listen to trans people. They listen to trans people's fellow travellers. They listen to what the politicians said. What they didn't listen to, the one group they didn't listen to was women. And in particular, women who'd been the victims of trans attacks. Or just generally the attacks by men. They didn't want to hear the victims, victims of R, who didn't want men going into our crisis centres, for example, or into women's hostels for, DV hostels and things like that. Oh, don't want to hear from that. No, because that goes against the grain. That goes against what we want to hear. That goes against our plans. It's not part of the agenda. So women were silenced. Basically, tape over the mouth. Don't want to hear from women. Sidelined. And that is wrong. And that is why this festering wart, this cancerous growth of trans power has been allowed to grow. What it should have been done is clamp down at day one and go, no, you're a man. And it has now. Thankfully, we've got the forced ruling, which means any trans man who pretends to be a woman, you can still call him a man. There is no misgendering. And you, apart from the forced status ruling, you've also got the 2010 Equality Act, where philosophical belief is a protected characteristic. Therefore, when you see a trans and he goes, "Oh, I'm a madam now," and you go, "No, you're not. No, you're not. You're a man." And there's nothing they can do. "I'll call the police," and they'll go, "Go on then." The police turn up. "Whoa, what's going on here then?" Go, "He called me a man." He goes, "You are a man," and it's turning into Monty Python, isn't it? Anyway, she dismissed it at the time, blah, 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 got there. So, she met with Marion Calder and Susan Smith through Mumsnet and formed For Women Scotland, which counts J.K. Rowling amongst its supporters, because of course it does. Their first meeting was targeted by trans campaigners and was even subject to a bomb threat. That doesn't surprise me at all. These trans are dangerous. 300 women also turned out. All had their bags searched, and the movement has grown from there. The trio say they have been subjected to horrendous abuse from critics, including being compared to Holocaust deniers. SNP MP Mary Black alluded to gender critics as the C word, while Nicola Sturgeon, well, you wouldn't expect anything less from that gobshite, would you, Black? And she would know what one is. She looks in the mirror every day, and that's all she sees, a huge gaping one. While Nicola Sturgeon said they were all likely racist. Oh yes, that's right. Because I dislike men dressing up as women to gain access to female spaces, I'm obviously a racist. Yes. How do you work that one out, Nicola? Is it just you being a Mary Black? Bit of a Mary Black yourself, aren't you? Anyway, Miss Smith said these were just absurdly stupid things to say about us and completely false. But of course, they're stupid things. That's all they've got. That's all the critics have got is stupid things, because they cannot argue facts. And you know that when they're attacking you, it's because they cannot attack what you're saying. They cannot attack your arguments. And so when they cannot attack the arguments, when they know your arguments are on firm ground and are right, they attack you. And as Thatcher said, that's what she took the most pleasure of. It's when they came after me, because she knew she'd won. They can't attack my argument, so they come after me. And she smiled. She always laughed when they came after her. She said, "Oh, thick skin, don't care. You're coming after me because you know I'm right." Anyway, she said that her meetings were always met with such hostility, and there was little point in trying to talk to them. Miss Smith's own views have been further shaped by her battle with breast cancer in 2020. She said, "I spent years waiting for reconstruction, learning to cope with my dressing my lopsided, scarred body, and to think that the Scottish Government values the opinion of a bloke who thinks that the loss of my breast makes me as scary or not to small children in the gym changing room as a 6-footer with a willy is frankly obscene, and the celebration of unnecessary surgery, as that disgusting coffee advert said, really hurt me." That's where they showed the young girl mutilated by having the breast removed. And they don't talk. What they don't talk about is the huge number of people who go through this surgery and then instantly regret it, or within weeks absolutely regret it. By then, of course, it's too late. You're too late, and there's a whole generation being sterilised on the on the battlefield of this because the gender lot at say Stonewall go, "Oh, you must get it done, push, must get it done," destroying children. These people, especially Stonewall, are the destroyers of children. And you've got to look at everyone in Stonewall and see what they are. They are monstrous destroyers of children. And treat them such. Treat every single member, every single, without fail, treat every single member of Stonewall as a PD. Because they are. Every single one. If you are a member of Stonewall, you are a danger to children and should be treated like a pedo. That's it. Not saying you are a pedo, of course. That's entirely different. But you should be treated like one because you represent a real and present danger to children, because you're pushing your degenerate ideology onto the very young, very vulnerable minds. You're disgusting pieces of human turd. Anyway, 4 Women Scotland say a person cannot change their sex and is calling on the definition of Sex and Equality Act to be clarified to mean biological sex. Ms Calder said the group's critics don't much like women who answer back, and she says she's become more resolute in her views, and good luck to her. She added, every public speech or meeting that we've ever had has been digitally recorded and is available on our web pages. There is nothing that's not there. There's nothing hidden. And well done. And good luck to them. Best of luck to them. Keep on the fight. Stay on it. Protect women. Don't let these degenerates win. Coming up. Sorry about getting a bit passionate in there, but it is something I care deeply about. I've got sisters. I've got a mother. I've got nieces. I've got female friends. I don't want any of them put in a position where I have to go in and turf some bloke out of a changing room. My wife's in there and some bloke in a skirt tries to walk in. I will stop him. And if he tries to get past me, I will use force. I mean, I'm not the hardest man in the world, but I am ex-army and I know how to hold people down. And, you know, I don't care. I literally don't care. But I am not having that happening to anyone of my family or friends. And we all need to stand up for it. And we all need to remember the 2010 Equality Act. Now, I was asked a question in the comments, was it yesterday or the day before, on a subject with regards to this. And I just want to clarify, and this is very important. Someone said the 2010 Equality Act only counts in England and Wales, surely, because it's a Westminster Act. And I went and I clarified. And no, because the 2010 Act is deemed to be a UK-wide law, it does apply in Scotland. And I did clarify this, and I did actually go onto the government's website, and it is all 4 nations, which is why the Westminster government pulled the gender equality or the gender bill in Scotland, because it interfered with the UK-wide law, and that was why. It is UK. So you are protected under the 2010 Act and have the right, because of philosophical belief, to call a man in a skirt a man. End of story on that one. The 4-stater ruling does not apply in Scotland, but the Gender Act, the 2010 Equality Act does. Clarification over. Thank you very much. We'll stop. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.